The error message glowed on the screen, a monument to his ruin. For not found. It was a Tuesday. For Arthur, a 54-year-old aeronautics engineer. The world had been full of promise just moments before. $2 million, his entire life, liquidated and multiplied, sat waiting in an account he believed was real. A woman he loved was planning her trip to finally meet him, to start the life they designed together over hundreds of hours of calls and messages. He tried the number. The number you have dialed is no longer in service. Cold, automated, final. He tried the app, a spinning wheel, then nothing. The professional networking profile where it all began, deleted. Sophia, the woman, the architect of his dreams, and now, the architect of his destruction had vanished. He sat there, in the quiet of a suburban home, the silence suddenly deafening. It wasn't a slow crash. It was a digital guillotine. In one horrifying instant, the life he was about to start, the woman he loved, the $2 million fortune, it all evaporated. There was just the error message, the disconnected number, and the cold, crushing realization. He hadn't been investing in his future. He had been the investment, and the harvest was complete. My name is James Smith. After witnessing how international syndicates used the blockchain to dismantle innocent lives across America, I decided to fight back. This channel is a deep dive into the USA Dark Ledger, a collection of thousands of real cases, sophisticated digital heists, and the voices of victims silenced by professional predators. I'm here to be your shield in an age of digital warfare, because the best way to stop a fraudster is to decode their script before they execute it. In the world of high-stakes scams, trust is a vulnerability, and behind every screen is a hidden ledger of deceit. Let's expose the dark psychology of digital financial crime. Every one of these stories has a beginning, a single point of entry. For Arthur, it wasn't a shadowy corner of the internet. It was a place built on professional trust, a networking site for career-focused individuals. In the digital age, these platforms have become predatory hunting grounds, and Arthur was about to learn that a pristine resume is a perfect cover. The message was a masterclass in subtlety. Hi, Arthur. You look familiar. How we worked together on a project in the past. A simple mistake, easily made. But the conversation that followed was anything but accidental. It was smart, engaging, and professional. She was interested in his work in aerospace, his complex problem-solving skills. It was a conversation between peers. Within days, she suggested moving to a more private messaging app to escape the formality of the professional site. It felt natural, a progression. Arthur, a brilliant man who designed guidance systems for a living, had no idea he was being guided himself, pulled into a meticulously crafted narrative designed to bypass every logical defense he had. The con artists have a name for this phase of the script, a translation from the original Chinese sha zhu pan, fattening the pig. It's a chillingly patient process, a masterclass in psychological warfare. This isn't about a quick score. It's about systematically dismantling a person's reality. Sophia wove herself into the very fabric of Arthur's life. She sent photos of her meals, talked about the pressures of her job, and shared her dream of a simpler life. This was accompanied by a campaign of intense affection, telling him he was the most intelligent, caring man she had ever known, a stark contrast to the loneliness he'd felt since his divorce. They had video calls. They were often brief, the connection a little fuzzy, which she blamed on her high-rise apartment in Singapore. But he saw her face. He saw her smile. He didn't know he was likely looking at a deepfake or expertly used pre-recorded clips, a technology these syndicates are now using with alarming success. The goal is to build a dark ledger of emotion, an account so full of trust and hope that it could be leveraged to a financial ledger later. The hook was being set, not with a clumsy plea for money, but with the promise of a shared future. After 3 months of careful cultivation, the conversation pivoted. Sophia started dropping casual remarks about her financial success, all credited to a special cryptocurrency trading algorithm she had access to through her uncle, a supposed banking executive in Hong Kong. She called him one evening, buzzing with excitement about a can't-miss trade. "This is for us, Arthur," she'd said. "For the house we looked at." She guided him to a website, a marvel of fraudulent engineering. It looked more legitimate than most real banks. complete with a downloadable app from the official App Store. Arthur was cautious. He started with $5,000. The next day, the dashboard showed a balance of $6,200. A few days later, she insisted he make a small withdrawal to prove the system was real. He pulled out $1,000, and it hit his bank account within hours. That small, successful transaction was a kill shot to his skepticism. It was real. The platform, the profits, the woman. It was all real. Over the next 6 weeks, he went all in. He liquidated his stock portfolio. He emptied the 401k he'd spent 30 years building. He funneled every cent into the platform, watching in euphoria as his balance soared past $1 million. Then $1.5 million. Finally cresting over $2 million. He was building their future. The final act of the script wasn't just about taking his money. It was about taking him. As a final step before cashing out, Sophia proposed a new plan. Her uncle needed to meet him in person to finalize the international transfer paperwork for such a large sum. It was a formality, she said, but a necessary one to avoid regulatory flags. The meeting was set for a hotel in a nearby country, a supposed neutral ground for international finance. Just a short trip, she promised. Then we can start our life. Arthur, still completely under her spell, booked the flight. He was one step away from securing their future. But as he prepared to leave, a nagging detail from their last call bothered him. He decided to try one last time to initiate the withdrawal himself, just to have the confirmation in hand before he traveled. That's when the platform asked him to pay a 20% capital gains tax to unlock his funds, a sum of over $400,000. Panicked, he called Sophia. She was calm, reassuring. She told him this was why the in-person meeting was so important. Her uncle would waive the fee. He just had to get on the plane. It was in that moment, with his suitcase packed and a plane ticket in his hand, that the threads began to unravel. The pressure to travel, the sudden appearance of a massive fee. He called his brother, a lawyer, and explained the situation. The advice was blunt. Do not get on that plane. He sent Sophia one last message. I'm not coming. The reply was instant, and the warmth was gone. It was cold, threatening, and then silence. That's where he tried the website and discovered the 404 not found error. The physical trap had failed, but the financial one had already snapped shut. Arthur's story is a single case file in a global criminal enterprise operating on an industrial scale. Recent studies estimate these pig butchering scams may have drained upwards of $75 billion from victims worldwide. The FBI warns it is one of the fastest growing and most financially devastating fraud schemes they are seeing. These operations are mainly based in fortified compounds in Southeast Asian countries like Cambodia, Myanmar, and Laos. And this is where the story grows even darker. The person Arthur knew as Sophia was likely a team of individuals, and those individuals are often victims themselves. A United Nations report has revealed that hundreds of thousands of people have been coerced into servitude, lured by fake job offers for tech or marketing roles. Upon arrival, their passports are confiscated. They are forced to work up to 18-hour days running these romance and investment scams under threat of severe physical harm. Those who don't meet their targets face appalling treatment. It is a terrifying crisis with dual victims. The people who lose their life savings and the people forced to steal it. How do you shield yourself from a threat this sophisticated? The red flags are there, but they are designed to be ignored. Be deeply skeptical of any unsolicited message from a stranger, no matter the platform. If a new acquaintance quickly professes intense feelings or tries to move the conversation to an encrypted app, that is a tactical maneuver. If they begin to show off a lavish lifestyle funded by a secret cryptocurrency method, be suspicious. But the most critical protocol is this. Never, ever send money or invest based on the advice of someone you have only met online. Real financial advisors do not operate via text message. If you believe you or someone you know is a victim, you are not alone. And there is no shame in being deceived by this level of psychological manipulation. Contact your local law enforcement and immediately file a report with the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, known as IC3. Arthur's story is a brutal lesson in the mechanics of modern trust and deceit. It shows how our deepest desires for connection and a better future can be weaponized against us. By understanding how this machine works, we can better defend ourselves and those we care about. Subscribe to the Romance Scam Podcast and USA Dark Ledger to understand the enemy within the digital age.